Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this in the world. I hope you guys are doing okay. So, it has become very apparent, and you guys have asked me to speak about this for some time now, and I've been putting it off, but it has now gotten to the point where it's basically undeniable. Tekken 8 has a Dragunov problem. I didn't want to admit it, and I really wanted to say let's just wait for the next update patiently, because this is a very big game and there's a lot to explore and learn. But as I said, it is undeniable at this point. Tekken 100% has a Dragunov problem. This character, I can now confidently say, sits in his own bracket. I'd like to refer back to my tier list from 2 months ago where I put Dragunov as number 1, and oh my god, did I get people in my comment section and DMing me in droves saying he got nerfed, Mike, he got nerfed. And I read your comments and I saw your replies, I saw your DMs, and I just scratched my head and I thought, yeah, if someone notable says something, people will just follow, or people assume that nerfing someone automatically moves them on the tier list. And not all of you, just to clarify, some of you had the wherewithal to understand that Dragunov was still undisputed number 1, but there was a decent amount of you that just couldn't understand why Dragunov was still number 1 despite the nerfs. Well, you all laughed at me then for this tier list, but I guess you're not laughing now.
You all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you?
The only thing that I'd change on this tier list is I'd put Dragunov in a tier of his own. Now that doesn't mean that I think he's broken. He's not broken. He is, however, overpowered or overtuned, and there is a big difference between overpowered / overtuned and broken. A broken character, as I've said before, is someone like Meta Knight. He literally broke the rules of the game, he glitched the game, did things that were unintended, outpaced characters on every metric, and basically had no drawbacks. An overpowered character would be Bison when he initially launched in Street Fighter 6, for example. He was doing a bit too much, but not so much that he was unbeatable. He just needed to be brought down a bit rather than having to rework entire systems because he's breaking them. So for those of you saying there are broken characters in this game, in my opinion, you're using the wrong terminology. You may not like him, and he is stronger than the characters you play, but he's not broken, and neither is Nina, neither is Feng Wei, neither is Brian, or anyone else you find irritating. That being said, do I think the patch should come now for Dragunov specifically? Well, yes and no. Allow me to explain. I'm kind of in the middle of it. I think Dragunov is clearly too strong right now, but as we've seen in tournaments and in my experience playing online, he's not unbeatable, and I feel like I have to try 10 times harder than the Dragunov players, and because of that, I feel like I'm actually progressing at a much faster rate. I also think that the over-reliance on his mega powerful attacks is dumbing down a large number of his player base, so when the nerfs do come, they are going to come. Make no mistake about that, they will come. Those players are going to have a really rough time. It doesn't help that he's so simple to use in the neutral, and with his combos. His combos are not hard to do at all. They used to be harder back in the day. They're very simple in Tekken 8, in my opinion at least. So I think he's just hurting the IQ of the people using him, for the most part. I'm obviously not talking about the top of the top players, because they're able to use multiple characters at a God of Destruction level and beyond, but I'd say my statement is true for the majority of the player base. On the flip side, he's actually ruining tournaments for me. Tekken's my favorite fighting game to play, but it's also by far my favorite fighting game to watch, because it kind of feels like you're watching a high budget martial arts fight. Well, for the most part, characters like Alisa kind of ruin that, but you get my point. It's a lot of fun to watch, and one of the most fun things is the character diversity. There are no weak characters in this game, and so you often get a lot of characters showing up at a high level. Because there's no weak characters, some characters inevitably get overlooked. It's just the nature of Tekken given how much is going on, and then suddenly someone whips out some tech you've never seen before or never would have imagined, and now that character is the talk of the town. Well, that's not prevalent right now, because Dragunov can do whatever you can do but better plus more. High damage plus frames, high chip damage, strong throw mix-ups, some of the best wall carry, some of the best wall damage, strong ground game, strong counter game, easy heat engages, a super powerful heat smash, a mix-up from his heat smash, excellent range on his normals. I could literally be here all day. Because of these reasons and and many more, Dragunov is being overrepresented in tournaments and it's becoming a real drag to sit through them, pun intended. This game was made with the spectator in mind. Harada has said that before, Michael Murray said that before. As a matter of fact, that is something that fighting game developers have been saying for a little while now. And right now, it's doing the opposite of what was intended. Watching the Esports World Cup and watching some of the other tournaments that have gone on, Dragunov has just sort of ruined them for me. I really do enjoy watching Tekken at a high level, but I don't enjoy watching the same character over and over again, and it's reminding me of the Tekken 6 days where all you got was a Bob and occasionally you'd get a Steve or a Martial Law. Also, don't you just love it when Dragunov players say he has weak lows or not that many options from low? Guys, let me explain something to you, and I really don't mean to come off condescending or whatever, but if your character has tons of powerful mids, people become very scared to block low because any one of those mids, at least in Dragunov's case, can lead you to the wall and lead you to death. Literally. So why the hell would I risk going low? Why would I block low? I'll just take the hit. Well, now that you've taken 5 down 2s or hatchet kicks, that shit really starts to add up. Maybe I'll just block low and then pow, now you're dead. If your character has an abundance of overtuned mids, your lows are auto buffed by proxy. That's just the way it is. Now you guys remember Marduk in Tekken 7, right? I talk about Marduk a lot on this channel because he's my old main. Wasn't really known for his lows, and yet I'd say that his lows are complemented so well by his diabolical mids that they actually end up becoming super powerful. Down 3 and down 4. No, you guys remember those moves, they sort of kick you in the calves. One of them was unparryable. Those lows were so annoying to deal with because you were like, well, if I just take the low, I'll still be standing, I'll be okay, but if I block low and he decides to go mid, I'm going to lose half my health, if not more. And in Marduk's case, the case was often that you were going to die. So never listen to Dragunov players when they say he has no lows. They are not looking at the whole toolkit and how certain moves complement others. You got to look at this not in a vacuum but as a whole character. His lows are as scary as anyone else's because he has the backup around them to do as he pleases. In the end, whilst I see the pros and cons to this situation, for the sake of everyone else that's playing online, the tournament players and the spectators, Dragunov should probably be nerfed. He's forcing tournament players to pick him because there's a lot of money on the line. These guys go there to earn a living a lot of the time, so why wouldn't you pick the fastest route to victory? He's forcing the Tekken diehards in the audience to sit there and watch him over and over again, and it's ruining character diversity online and offline. Whilst I think I'm getting a Zenkai boost from fighting him over and over, objectively, the state that he's in, he probably should be nerfed for the betterment of the game. I'm not sure if I have the right idea on how to nerf him, but judging based on what I've seen and experienced so far, I'd remove some of his plus frames, decrease his damage and make some more moves linear than they already are. Maybe slow down the second part of back 4-3 because it's pretty fast and a piss easy heat engager and it's safe on block, so maybe slow down the second part to make it easier to duck and punish. His moveset is pretty insane, so even with these nerfs, he's still going to be extremely kitted up and will likely always remain a top tier in this game. I just think he's playing Super Saiyan Tekken whilst everybody is currently in KO Ken. As for the rest of the roster, I'm pretty happy with everything. All things considered, there's a lot of knowledge checks in this game, there's a lot of weird situations that are extremely hard to replicate in practice, and there's always going to be things that fly under the radar or that you don't understand, but everyone seems very competent and very competitive. Nobody else, at least in my opinion, is overwhelming. But I'd like to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think it's time for Dragunov to get taken down a notch, or is this an overreaction and Tekken just needs more time in the oven? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always guys, thank you for watching the videos, thank you for all of the love and support, and I will catch you very soon. Take care and peace.